Democrats have their work cut out for them as they try to win control of the U.S. Senate in 2018. They'll be defending 25 seats next year, including 2 independents who caucus with them. That's compared to just 9 seats up for Republicans. One of the Democratic senators up for re-election is Wisconsin's Tammy Baldwin. She has 2 announced Republican challengers so far, State Senator Leah Vukmir of Brookfield and Delafield businessman Kevin Nicholson. A national nonpartisan newsletter rates the race as lean Democrat. Kyle Kondik is managing editor of Sabatos Crystal Ball at the University of Virginia Center for Politics, and he joins us now from the Hearst Bureau in Washington. Kyle, thanks very much for being with us today. Let's talk about why your publication is calling this lean Democrat. Why is that?
I think you always have to give an incumbent senator sort of the benefit of the doubt, and that's particularly true when the incumbent senator is from the party that doesn't hold the White House. The long-term trend in American politics is that the president's party generally struggles in the midterm. That's often the case, particularly when the current president is unpopular, as Donald Trump is, at least right now. And if you go through the entire history of midterm elections in the era of popular elected senators that goes back about 100 years, the re-election rate for presidential or non-presidential party senators in midterms is a really good 91%. The president's party senators, the re-election rate's only 75%, and it gets at the usual drag that the president's party has in the midterm. So Baldwin is a Democrat running in sort of in a swing state with a Republican in the White House. I think that's basically enough to give her a little bit of an edge. But I know that national Republicans really are prioritizing Wisconsin. They think that Baldwin is potentially vulnerable, and I think they're hoping they get a good candidate in this race. And I think they're prepared to spend a considerable amount of money on the Wisconsin Senate race next year. So it should be really one of the races to watch across the country as Democrats, as you noted, defend a lot of territory and also hope to make at least sort of partial gains in the Senate next year.
Kyle, we know that there will be at least 2 Republicans, so we will have a contested primary in the 2018 Senate race here. What potential impact could that have on this race?
I don't know if there's necessarily a favorite amongst the 2 candidates who you mentioned, Leah Vukmir and Kevin Nicholson. And they both should be fairly well funded. They have super PACs that are supporting them and wealthy donors supporting them. There may be other candidates who eventually get in. I wouldn't necessarily think at this early point that there's really a clear favorite in the primary. You know, one thing I think that's helpful to Baldwin is that she shouldn't have much, if any, primary opposition. And the primary is late. It's not until August. Which means the eventual nominee is going to have to pivot to the general election pretty quickly, which can be a challenge. And I think that a very tough Republican primary hurt Tommy Thompson when Baldwin was last on the ballot and when she won in 2012.
Kyle, another wild card in this race, and perhaps you can address this, is the fact that Tammy Baldwin in the past week got behind Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan for health care, or what Republicans call government-run health care. How much of a risk is that for her in a race of this kind?
Baldwin sort of sticks out amongst the roughly third of the Democratic Senate caucus who have endorsed Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All, in that she's really the only one who has a tough re-election race coming up next year. I don't think it's necessarily surprising that Baldwin signed on, at least in terms of her ideology. I think she is a pretty liberal member of the U.S. Senate. But she has a little bit more to worry about in the general election next year than others do. But just the sort of generic idea of Medicare for All is really not that unpopular. So that's one thing I think that just from a political standpoint maybe argues in favor of Baldwin endorsing it. But she definitely does stick out amongst the other Democratic senators who have backed it, just because she's vulnerable in ways that the other co-sponsors really are not.
Kyle Kondik is with Sabatos Crystal Ball at the University of Virginia. We appreciate your time, Kyle. Thanks very much for being with us today.
Thanks, Mike.
Coming up next, holdouts creating some late drama on the state budget.